and say, hey, if I cannot sit two kids side by side, how can you play football?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm with them 100%. I mean, and I don't get me wrong. I know football runs a lot of programs, and a lot of people said, oh, well, if we don't have football, then we're doomed, but not necessarily. It depends on where you're at. Yeah. I guarantee you if you'd, and I don't know, I'm just questioning. I have no idea. If you'd go over here at Cherville, now the football program does do a good job, but you got to have the gates that you got to have coming in. Maybe basketball and maybe baseball generate enough revenue that carries them. I do not know. If you go to West Lincoln, maybe it's wrestling.
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on where you're at.
Depends on where you're at. So, I like I said, hopefully they do get some clarity. Hopefully these coaches are able to get something going. I did look at the numbers yesterday in the state of North Carolina, and it is hard to gauge because it looks like a heart diagram where it's going up and down, up and down, up and down. But it's recently the trend is down, in North Carolina. And I looked at South Carolina, and the trend is down as far as new cases. There's a lot of different ways to look at it. Cases per capita, deaths per capita, and there's a lot of different ways to look at it, I realize. But the general trend line is down. And as long as that line goes down, I think we're okay. But when the kids go back to school, what's going to happen? Are these kids going to go home, get it, bring it home, and give it to relatives? I guess that's a nightmare scenario. So let's just hope our plan works, that we get the kids spaced out in school, and we keep it clean, and we don't have a spike, and we're able to get back to normal. Because a lot of people just, they say depression's on the rise too because of this stuff. True. I mean, it's causing all kinds of economic, psychological, all kinds of other problems. It'd just be nice to get back to normal. What you need, Kevin? You need that. Okay. All right. So, in case you're just joining us, the word on sports is going to come out August 17th. As Kevin said at the beginning of the program, we're one of a handful of states that does not have a plan. I would assume some states have just went ahead and canceled all the fall sports. I'd have assumed the Yankee states have done that since the Ivy League has canceled all their sports.
But now you said Oregon, Rhode Island,
no, Delaware.
Oh,
Hawaii.
Oregon, Delaware, and Hawaii, and North Carolina. Think of that, 4. I mean, we got a lot of states.
Yeah, we do have 50 of them.
That's what I'm saying.
46 of them.
What are we waiting on?
I mean, you should be proud you're in the top 4.
Okay.
I wouldn't consider that in the top 4
of safety.
Yeah, of safety, that's a good thing.
Can you name the top 12 states in the country, Tom?
What do you mean top 12 as far as what? GDP, population? What do you want to know?
Now you sound like Kevin.
Geography?
Geography, Tom. Geography. That
was just a Schneid comment to Kevin, like his little Q button comment he made earlier. So you got to get him back every now and then. The largest size is Alaska.
I was just saying the top 12 states that are like northern. You got new.
Oh,
that's the fun one.
I would say that I would imagine. I'm not looking at the map, but I would imagine New England. Most of those would have canceled. See, but if you look at the map, New England has the coronavirus most under control as opposed to any other region in the country. You look at Connecticut. You look at Rhode Island.
Dakota. Don't forget that.
That's not New England, Terry.
That's not the problem.
That's the Great
If
Plains.
you go to South Dakota, that lady's got it under control.
But if you look at like Connecticut's case, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, even New York has about 500 cases a day. Now, of course, people are going to say, "Oh, it's blah 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 blah," but I think they do have it under control because they were hit the worst at the first.
All right.
So that would their reaction to it be a little more stern. Go ahead.
Couple of things this morning. Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Thomas Borgello driving to work and listening to us in the mornings. Want to say hello to him. Be careful, and I hope Terry doesn't say anything crazy enough to make you swerve. Friendship Nissan as well, both in Forest City up on Oak Street Extension. Call the Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram 828-919-3001 and the 828-245-1661 for the Nissan folks.
Did he graduate from App?
Who? Thomas? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm wondering.
Just got to make sure, if we've got
where Terry's going with.
If we've got a new, if we've got a new sponsor from Appalachian State, maybe we ought to cut down on our Schneid remarks on.
Oh, that's just
that's the one. Oh, okay.
I'm just saying because this past week
it is a fact that an ACC team avoided Appalachian State this week.
I don't even want to hear it. The coach was whining like a little baby because Wake Forest would not play him this year.
They're scared to play them, Terry. It's just a
He
fact.
had his whole schedule plus one game
I
he could pick.
I even had a link I was about to send to you 11 o'clock. I was reading last night on a website somewhere discussing how Wake Forest dodged Appalachian State, and that's exactly what they did because they don't want the hammer
They
coming
kept
down.
Old Dominion.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know they had a football team.
Yeah, they dumped
Old Dominion.
App, but they kept Old Dominion.
Couple things on the high school, Tom. You're not getting in conspiracy land, but are they waiting to keep the kids in North Carolina schools to keep them from moving and going to other schools? Maybe if you say no, we're not going to play, or we're waiting, you're going to have a flood. And we've already seen of people announce that they're going to go to other states and play. That I'm sure. I don't know how that affects tax dollars or all that, but just a thought on that. Terry, you both bring up good points. If you got to sit 6 feet away from people in a class, how can I tackle you? That's wild. But there's just all kinds of weird things with that. Losing kids to South Carolina and stuff. It's going to happen. The ones that are committed already, I'm not sure if they're committed and the school's committed to them, they get their signed or whatever. I mean, I'm not sure if I'd play at all. Just in general, and just work out, get ready, do your thing, get your skill set going. I think we got Hunter in now. Hunter, you there, buddy?
Yeah.
Yay! Good morning. What'd you have for breakfast? And it wasn't Mitchum's kitchen. Did your mama make you something? Did you make you something?
No, it's water.
I know you ate something.
Oh, that's water.
You've been up to
Hunter, how is your mother doing?
My mom is doing good.
Okay,
She's
good.
in good spirits. She's doing really good right now. She had a few days where she had a little bit more chest tightness and some headaches, and like her kidney areas were hurting. But as of today, as of yesterday, she went and got a shot from the doctor. But today, she's doing. I would think she's doing a lot better. I haven't seen her this morning. She's still asleep, but she's been confined to her room, and I know she's probably going crazy. So.
All right. Well, our thoughts and prayers are with her, and hopefully she has a speedy recovery, Hunter.
Thank you.
Good to hear from you again. And Hunter, as far as North Carolina getting on the ball, what do you think about that? We talked a little bit about it Wednesday. They're in the top 4. They're on the Mount Rushmore of safety. Tom.
Mount Rushmore is going to come. Is going to come up. I just want to say something real quick. My sister Gina is listening this morning. Thank you, Gina, for actually getting up at 8 o'clock on a Saturday to listen. We appreciate that. Thank you.
Tom says thank you, but takes a slight shot. All right. Hey, well, good morning, Gina. I won't take any shots at you. You come up here and eat breakfast with us if you want. All right, Hunter. Yeah. So, what do you think's going on as far as all this, and what are your thoughts on everything?
I think they're just weighing right now, I guess, the pros and cons. They're probably trying to receive as much feedback as they can from the surrounding counties and really every county in North Carolina, because that's what's going to be the hardest part is, trying to do everything correctly based off of what each county is going to decide is best, and not to mention what each school is going to decide is the best. And what's going to be tough as well is, like you said, you've already got these kids who have already decided probably before even today that they were going to go off and play in another state just because they've already decided they're getting ready and they're going to go ahead and get going. Especially kids that are possibly, needing these. This might be their junior season, might be their senior season, might be their last 2 years to really get some tape out there if they're trying to play at some form of the next level. And they want to get as much out to these coaches in a timely manner, then I wouldn't be surprised if some of them have already said, North Carolina, you're playing around a little too much. I want to go ahead and get an early start on working out with teams, and I want to go ahead and get ready for the upcoming season. So I don't know. I feel like North Carolina I'm not going to say they're missing the mark here by taking too long, because obviously safety is of the highest concern. I don't think that would be appropriate to say they're missing the mark, but I'm just surprised that it has taken this long for them to come up with some sort of idea about sports. I understand when the start of school and how you're going to get kids in the classroom and how many days they're going to get into the classroom. I can understand that possibly taking a little bit longer. But, like, this is sports. There's one of three ways you can go with this. You either have the season, you don't have the season, or you move the season. That's just what it is. So I don't quite understand what the delay is on getting the sports part figured out of it. Well, them actually going to class, I can kind of understand why that's taking a little bit longer.
I think part of the reason we're moving the season, like Terry was talking about earlier, if you move it, what do you do? You know, how many games do you cut? How do you cut a playoff round? Blah, blah, blah. And I know they're trying to work all that out. So, you know, the two that are the cut and dry is let's go ahead and play regular schedule. That's easy enough. Let's kill it. That's easy enough. But when you move it and modify, I think it's some of the other issues we talked about. Well, if it runs too much into basketball season, what do you do? If it runs into the spring, what are you going to do? I mean, I would say even if you're playing football games in January, it's not going to hurt too much, would it, Terry?
Well, I'm going to be on my end, and this is how I look at it, and we were discussing a lot of things over at school, and my whole theory is this. When you go to basketball, don't get me wrong, we do play in December, you know, but you start practicing in November. But when you're out there, really, you play like 2 weeks, and then all of a sudden you're off. You're off for Christmas. Right. And then you might go play in a Christmas tournament, but that's a couple games, and the season's done until you come back after January. It would not bother me. The games that you miss in December, for you to move every bit of that to starting in January.
Basketball.
Yeah. Just for this year. You don't have to do it every year, but for this year coming up, move that games over there, even if you have to play them or not play them. There's not that many games that you play before Christmas. I mean, you might have played maybe 6, maybe 7.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because I've never been real happy with the way basketball is a start and stop season.
It does. It stops right in the middle.
It wouldn't bother me if they didn't practice until after Thanksgiving, just had December to practice.
Yeah, you could practice.
And then play up into the middle of March. Now, it would overlap with baseball a little bit, but I would like to say there's more overlap between football and basketball as far as athletes as there is between basketball and baseball. So I think the impact would be a little more minimal, you know, and I think it would work out better for the basketball players and the football players if we did that.
And it's easier for recovery in basketball than it is football.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
and that's what I look at because I mean, you know, these are only my thoughts. I mean, I don't know whether anybody else got the same thoughts I got, but it would not bother me if basketball would not be moved until starting in January.
And then you
can schedule.
And then you can sort of have the Christmas tournaments as an endowment type deal or something, blah, 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 you know, and then start your games in January. I always hated Christmas tournaments myself. And a lot of people say, well, you know, the kids get to play. Well, yeah, they do. You know, but you got to get them away from what they're doing for Christmas. Right.
Bring them in. You still got to practice.
Right.
And then you're going to end up going like the tournaments that we played in. And I'm not negating any kind of a tournament. I think they're all good and they're all building. But when I'm going to end up playing a team that's in my conference again,
right,
I never like that. I mean, I don't want to let them see me too many times.
See, I coached it 7 years. I just did JV girls, but I really didn't like start and stop. And then trying to get players into practice on a holiday, Terry. Yeah. I mean, it's tough. You know, some people, grandma comes in from out of town, or we're going back up north where our relatives live.
That's it.
You going to punish a kid for that? No. You got basketball practice, sweetheart. You can't go see grandma. I mean, it's you run into those kind of issues.
So I will say this as far as basketball practice, the less practice, more games wouldn't hurt my feelings at all.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. You're right.
But because practices sometimes turn into, hey, we're gonna run all day and never shoot a basketball. Sometimes,
Kevin, wrong answer. I believe you got to be in shape.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you're never going to work on it at the start, it's not going to help you in the middle.
Well, Terry, I've never been in a game where the cross country team beat me. They can run up and down all day. They can't they can't dribble a basketball or shoot it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
So,
I'd rather be
y'all keep on
standing
running.
straight up
Y'all
than
keep on
bending over,
Oh,
holding
I
my
was
shorts.
okay, but I'm just saying, as a basketball or any,
'Cause at
any,
that
any
point in
sport,
time,
you
I
would
know
much
I
rather
got
be
you.
playing more games than
Right.
I'd rather play 3 games a week than
The old Allen Iverson. We're talking about
than
practice.
three
Yeah.
than three practices.
Practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes, and and this is me too. Practice, sometimes you can prolong it too long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can make it where kids do not want to play the game from
but
too much practice.
And you could also
One thing you real quick that you don't think about though that is effective on these teams when on the overlap is tryouts, because a lot of kids, if you are playing other sports, you sometimes some kids don't have to try out based on their skill or who they are, and some kids do have to try out. So there if you're on a basketball team and they make a deep run and you don't get to try out against other kids that are also on the bubble, some kids might not make the team that should make the team, and I've seen it happen in both sports where you go in you go far into a postseason, especially in basketball, and then baseball starts. They start practicing. I don't even know, when do they start practicing, Terry? Right when the second semester opens, basically.
Almost, yeah.
So
I mean,
and that's the heart of basketball season. So so the baseball coach wants you in there hitting baseballs and stuff. It's not shooting basketballs. And then they're wanting you to be in after school, eat as much things that you can with them, and then you can have a couple seniors try out that maybe wasn't going to play, hadn't played in 3 years. That now they get a spot or something like that. So there's a lot of things on the overlap that I'm concerned about when you move some of those. But that's just some of the things you got to deal with when you're doing something like this. We put the non-contact sports in the fall, contact in the spring. Start there if that's what you want to. I would say if that's what you want to do, and then adjust from there. You can't tell everybody. I guess if football's that important, I guess you got to play the games or whatever. That's what they say. But as far as money wise, but this shouldn't be a money decision as well. I don't know what North Carolina's doing, Tom, as far as they keep waiting. So I just don't know on that.
Yeah, and I do know North Carolina's got this rule in now for this year. I do know, like the 17th through the 24th is dead period. Mm-hmm. Like you can't be practicing or doing any kind of sports at that point in time.
I just hope it's not for the reasons
starting back into school.
I hope it's not for the reasons I said earlier, Tom, about trying to keep the kids in North Carolina and not what's best for them at all. Because if it's what's best for them is to transfer to South Carolina or somewhere, it's not fair to them, and just to try to keep them in the North Carolina schools.
I really don't think that's it, because if that was it, I mean, you look at it like a Missouri that borders 7 states. Why wouldn't they be doing that too? Or Tennessee borders 6 or 7 states. Why wouldn't they be doing the same thing? So I don't really buy into that conspiracy. We're trying to keep our kids out of South Carolina, because that would only mean the border counties.
And Virginia, too, and Tennessee, all of them.
Yeah,
well, my whole deal is this.
Georgia,
how many would you have? 10?
Yeah, but if you look at our...
No.
But if you look at our...
No. I named 2 for one school right now off the top of my head, Terry. I mean, I know 2 that's already said they're going from one school. So that's not even talking about all the other schools in Cleveland County that's connected to South Carolina. You don't think Gaffney would love an influx of Cleveland County?
Oh, they'd love it.
And Burns?
Oh, I agree.
Bradley's down there sitting there waiting for the Cleveland County boys to come down and make Burns even better than they already are. Isn't your boy down in South Carolina? Is he coaching down there? Ain't that who you just said should win the national title?
Who,
Dutch Fork.
Yeah. Don't you think he would love some Cleveland County and Huss folks come down there, some South Point linemen come down to Dutch Fork? Make him teams deeper? I'm sure they're not, because they're
mean, I understand that part of it. I just don't think we're delaying this decision as a conspiracy to keep the kids in North Carolina. I don't believe that. I just believe that that's the way our governor is. He is not a fast decision maker, and there's a lot of people going to criticize him for that, and some people are going to say, well, he's taking his time, he's taking all the information. But at this point in the game, I would say we need to have a plan. This is a plan. If nothing else happens, I would like to see that put in place, and we have it. Maybe by the 17th we will.
All right, JP, you ready for our first break? I think we've got about everything settled. And then, Hunter, we're going to get ready to get into actual sports talk. Glad we woke you up this morning. And you need to be woke up anyway.
I know, Hunter. In a minute, we'll be talking about a whining coach.
Yeah, he wants to. Oh, God. We got NCAA football to talk about. Yeah, from Wake Forest. You're exactly right, Terry. Scared. Just shaking in their boots. Wisconsin was scared this year. They're all scared. All right, we'll be back in a few minutes on ktcbroadcasting.com.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could go look at a new car or truck and you didn't have to worry about getting caught up in those games that waste half your day? Well, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram in Forest City is different because we're fast, easy, and transparent. We have over 300 new and used vehicles on the ground with clear choice pricing and the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and a free lifetime warranty on every new car. You better believe Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram is different, and you can find us in Forest City.
The NASCAR Cup Series finishes a doubleheader weekend in Michigan.
Team Penske at the front of the field, further back off four. They are 4 wide as they race back to the stripe.
Who will come out victorious in the Consumers Energy 400?
Here comes Denny Hamlin. Here comes Chase Elliott off too.
Harvick across the line. Checkered flag is out.
Sunday afternoon at 3:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
On Carolina Country WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Take advantage of a special offer on the versatile Kubota BX Series subcompact tractor. Switching attachments is simple, and a smooth hydrostatic transmission makes for easy operation. The Kubota BX Series, the #1 selling subcompact tractor in the U.S. for over 10 years. You own the land. Now, make it yours. Get the Kubota BX 2380 for payments as low as $99 a month.
Your Kubota dealer is Parker Farm Service, 126 Bessie Drive, off Highway 74 at Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain. Hey, are you daydreaming of a new deck for the summer? Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville can help. Right now, Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville has home equity loans available at 4% APR. Just call 704-435-0186 for more information and find out how to apply. Carolina Federal Credit Union, 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. Online at carolinafcu.org. Like them on Facebook too. That's Carolina Federal Credit Union in Cherryville.
You'll be first on race day with a stop at Kings Mountain Auto Supply, 904 West Gold Street in Kings Mountain. You'll find a full line of auto parts. They've got it all, and they even carry racing fuel. So before you head out to the track, get your racing fuel from Kings Mountain Auto Supply. Give them a call at 704-739-0391. In addition to great prices, you'll get friendly and knowledgeable service as well. Kings Mountain Auto Supply, 904 West Gold Street in Kings Mountain. Open Monday through Friday from 8 till 6, Saturdays 8 till noon. Like them on Facebook too.
Have you been to the new location of Butler's Tire and Automotive in Kings Mountain? If not, head on in soon. Not only is it nice, but they do great automotive repair work. It's at 404 East King Street in Kings Mountain, right across from KFC. They do it all, from an oil change to a tune-up, from alignment to an inspection, to great prices on tires too. And they have one of the few recessed lifts in this area. Give them a call at 704-750-4645. Now open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. That's the new Butler's Tire and Automotive, now at 404 East King Street in Kings Mountain. Like them on Facebook too.
And welcome back to Samurai One Sports Talk with Kevin and the gang and Hunter on Skype.
Mike 4, yeah, that's right.
So,
JP, we can't quite hear you because of Hunter's setup, so you got to give us some hand signals.
Yeah, like hand signals. He's good.
He's good in there.
Great job.
That's not the finger we asked for, JP.
yeah, I'm not putting up the middle one. Sorry. I put up the last one, the thumb. The
JP, don't tell Terry he's number one like that.
Don't tell him he's number one.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Terry is not number one.
Terry, you tell me. I have a question for you, Terry, and you give me an answer. The Los Angeles Lakers will be in the NBA Finals.
No.
It's simple. It's quick. You just ask a Celtics fan that, Tom.
That's right. They will not be there.
And
they're struggling. We talked about this. I even went over it with Hunter when we was on the last weekend. The week before. You gave up defensive players that's not opted out not to come back, so you had to replace them. And what you got for them is not defensive players, and that's what LeBron and Davis need.
Yeah, a lot of people are really down on them right now. I think they're a little more down on them than they need to be, Terry. They still got LeBron James.
They do, but right now, I mean, last night, Houston beat them again.
Yeah.
Houston's got they do not want to play the Rockets in the playoffs. If they do, they're out.
How much effort do you think they're putting into these bubble games, though?
Not many.
Yeah,
I mean, I would say they probably run in
preseason.
Yeah, they probably run like
trying.
70-75%.
They're not trying. The ones that don't have to at all. Hunter, we did this the other day. My picks right now for the finals are Nuggets and Raptors. Who did you have again?
Nuggets and Raptors?
I think I had. I know out of the West, I've said the Clippers since the NBA season started. So it's going to be the Clippers out of the West, but
you say
out of the
Celtics or
East,
Bucks? I thought you might. Did you say
Celtics? I think I said Boston just because I think they might be the deepest team in the East, and I don't like Terry said right now. I know they've had some hiccups every now and then here in the bubble, but I don't know exactly how hard they're playing. But I know when the playoffs come, they're probably going to be one of the deepest teams. It would either be them or Milwaukee, but if it comes down to depth and who I trust, I don't trust Chris Middleton at all. I don't. So I'm going to go with the Celtics. So it'll be Clippers Celtics.
Terry, that ought to make you happy there. You and Hunter are on the same page in basketball.
That shouldn't make you happy at all. He's a Wizards fan.
Well, we played the team that people said we shouldn't play the other day, the Celtics against the Trailblazers, and Boston beat them. We have played the Raptors, and Boston beat them. You know, we lost to Milwaukee, and that's the game, our first game back when Kemba set out the end of the game for who knows how long. And Giannis fouled out, and they wouldn't call the fouls. You know, so all them games are behind us. Boston, to me, is the best team. Last night, Celtics 122, Raptors 100. So, you know, but then you have to sit back, okay, how much did everybody play? And I'm with that because when I watch games, I'm like, who's playing, who's not playing. But I think Boston's overall talent now, and that's why I'm glad Hunter said that, is starting to phase in because if Kemba doesn't play, it's Tatum, Brown, everybody else smart. All of them guys are picking it up now. And they're filling in for them very well. So now their overall efficiency is going to be better, and the depth of that team is going to take over.
Well, let me throw another kind of related yet unrelated. I know that this station had this big conspiracy that the Pelicans were in. They rigged the bubble teams to the Pelicans so they can get in the playoffs.
So they're about ready to be eliminated.
And now they're not doing that well. So I just want to hear the back of the NBA conspiracy theory. There was a conspiracy to get the Pelicans in the playoffs, and they're about to play themselves out. And oh, by the way, that Zion is not even playing. He's either tonight or tomorrow night. So what's the story on that, fellas? I thought this.
I can tell you exactly what it is.
Go ahead.
The NBA didn't account that the Pelicans weren't going to try. I bet the Pelicans didn't call up the NBA and say, yeah, we're going to have Zion on about 15 to 17 minutes restriction, and we're not going to let him play the final 2 minutes of quarters. Now, you can't sit and say that they didn't have them in the bubble to at least try and compete for a playoff spot. Yes, Kevin, I can see that. I know you're waving that in my face, and you're tempting me with what I'm missing in for breakfast. But you can't say that they didn't try and put the Pelicans in there. I said it because, for eyes and ears purposes, if the Lakers-Pelicans was the 1 versus 8, that would have gotten a bunch of people. That would have got the ratings through the roof and yada, yada, yada. But they also did this because people still tuned in to see Zion. He's been him alone has been a topic of conversation about the bubble. Why aren't they playing him? Why is he not playing the last 2 minutes? When he does play, he almost meets every minute he's played with points. He's almost 1 point for every minute he's played. So he's the Pelicans just because I think as a team they're really not trying, and Alvin Gentry can't really get them to buy into defense. I still believe the NBA had it set up to where they get in for a reason. Absolutely, he's too big of a name.
You know,
because they could have just done the top. They could have just went straight to the playoffs. They could have.
Yeah. Well, I think if the NBA known that all of this was going to happen, that the Pelicans, they would have never went with this kind of a structure for them to even be in it.
So you're saying there was a conspiracy with an unconspiring party in the conspiracy.
Charlotte's about ready to catch them, and Charlotte's not even playing.
That's what I saw. I saw. It's like, wait a minute, the Hornets are moving up, but they're not even playing.
That's what I'm saying. They're almost caught the Pelicans already.
And they're not even playing.
I was just going to say, because think about it. You're only going to invite 22 teams back. Like, come on, you could have invited the whole league back, but instead you're going to leave kind of the 8 guys out there in the dry, and one of the 22 teams we actually get to bring back are the Pelicans. You kind of set it up, not to mention there are more teams from the West that made this bubble than the East, so it's kind of like, okay, well, what's happening here? Because they could have did a cutoff on the East and the West at the 2 teams that were just under the 8 seed. So that would have been the Trailblazers and the Pelicans. But no, they decided to invite the Kings and the Phoenix Suns, because if they would have cut it off just at the Pelicans, it might have been just a little bit too noticeable. It would have been just a little bit too noticeable.
Well, Hunter, let me ask you this, too, because I know you follow it closely. Some people are talking about Dallas, and Porzingis is healthy. Do you think that Dallas has a legitimate shot to either make the Western Conference Finals or the NBA Finals?
I think this year anybody's got a shot. I think anybody's got a shot this year, especially with Dallas being healthy. I know for a little while during the season, both Luka and Kristaps were hurt. It's going to come down just to team chemistry. I see Boban is trying to get a 3-point shot in. He's been working on that too. If he started hitting those, then I would just say watch out. But my take is no. I don't think it's this year. I think they might be a year or 2 out from actually being real contenders, because the problem is they fall into the category that the Pelicans are in right now. And I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but they don't play no defense, because everybody's like, oh, well, the NBA is an offensive league anyways. But when it comes to playoff times, you better have some guys that can shut down some players. That's why I lean heavily towards the Clippers. They got Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, who are both elite wing defenders. But Luka, defensively, I mean, he's not that strong. Kristaps is not that strong. So I'm going to give them definitely out of the first round. They're definitely going to get out of the first round, because I think they're sitting at maybe where they would match up with possibly the Jazz. And I will say this: the Jazz, they lost Bogdanovich. Their offense is horrible. They look bad. This bubble is not helping them, because they might be sliding in the playoff position. It's the same thing that with Memphis. John Morant came out and said, this really is just working against us, because they're the only one that has a seed, it looks like, to lose if they can continue to lose. So for Dallas, to me, they could upset somebody. They could. Do I think they will? I think maybe only the first round. After that, it's just defense is actually going to have to come into effect.
Well, I guess. Well, go ahead, Terry.
Yeah, Hunter, that's like me when I was thinking. I know I've got Boston against the Clippers in the finals, and I don't know, who did you have in the finals?
Boston and the Clippers.
Okay, that's what I'm going to go with also, because I think you got 2 legitimately defensive teams that'd be great matchups. I mean, it kind of makes me really wonder who will Beverly guard. Are you going to? I mean, I don't think you'll be on Hayward. It's probably going to be Tatum that he'll be all over.
Who would guard?
Beverly.
I'd put Beverly right in the pocket of Kemba Walker.
Well,
I would make Patrick Beverly force Kemba Walker every way he doesn't want to go, and then I would put Kawhi and Paul George and say, look, guys, y'all going to earn this. Y'all play with Tatum and Brown.
Well, let me ask. Let me
so
ask.
You're going to leave Hayward open for him to be the elite guy that's going to lead them. So that's what we talk about when we talk about Boston being so deep. You might have them 3 guys over there at the Clippers who's going to be able to step up and play your game, but how can you match Boston for player?
Well, yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Terry. You guys talked a lot about a potential Clippers, Lakers. What makes you think? I mean, Clippers, Celtics. I'm sorry, Terry. What makes you think that the Celtics are you're just kind of discounting the Bucks, both of you? I mean, you just like they don't have a chance. Like it's just gift wrap for the Celtics. Why are they going
Giannis
to
is only going to get them so
there
far
you
by
go.
himself.
It's all Giannis. Middleton can help. Yeah. He is a big factor there. If he has elite games every time they go out there, and he can, because we've seen him do it, but can he do it consistently for a whole series?
I just can't sit here and take the disrespect from the longest ever, the team that's held the championship title the longest in NBA history.
The Warriors?
Toronto Raptors.
Oh, the Raptors. Oh, okay.
No team's held this. Every season's already started by.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. I was what are you talking about?
The league year has already started by now by then, and so the Raptors have held on to defended the title longer than any other
I see what
team
he's saying.
in NBA here. They've defended it for about 16 months now, Tom.
They are very much a lunch pail team, though, aren't they? The Raptors. I mean, I'm pulling for them. That's my pseudo team.
They're the two team in the East.
Even though they're Canadian, I'm gonna pull for them.
Better than Boston. Canada hasn't officially kicked the Raptors out yet. They haven't tried to come back. They're in the bubble in Florida, like they kicked the Blue Jays out.
Yeah.
But they are ahead of the Celtics, Tom, and everybody else in the East except the Bucks. Kyle Lowry is a winner. We talked with him about him the other day. Hunter and I did about how he just keeps winning no matter what. And it's Siakam and those guys have played well. Their coach, I just watched something.
Who's the point guard from Wichita State?
I don't know.
Van Vliet.
Yeah,
Van Vliet. He's been playing.
He's playing very well. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. He has. Just watching. I was watching something the other day. I was talking about the Coach Nick Nurse, and I think it was Jalen Rose and a couple other people just talking about how smart this coach is, and I think Doug Gottlieb and everybody. I think it was him too as well. Just talking about how smart he is. Hunter, looking at. You guys were talking about, these teams in this bubble. All 8 teams that were in it from the East are going to make it. Nothing changed. And out West, unless Portland can catch Memphis here in the last few games, nothing's going to change out there. So, we kind of talked. It seemed like a preseason thing to me is kind of really all this is, because, if you're already in the top few seeds, why would you be playing your starters? There's no reason to. You're not getting home court advantage. You're not going to have your home crowd and travel and all that. So Memphis finishes at Toronto versus Toronto, and Boston and Milwaukee. So that's 3 teams that we just all picked could win the East. Another thing about this situation, when you cut off those other teams and allow these other ones to play, that's not the same schedule as they were going to finish the season with. Somebody was going to have to play the Hornets, and some teams going to have to play the Cavs and get some wins there. So you allowed them a chance to get in, but you kind of made it hard on them, really, more than anything. And is it just to me, it's just kind of a preseason thing. You just asked about Dallas, Tom. I'm a big fan of Porzingis and Luka. I think Luka's outstanding. I'm just not sure in the first round right now they'd have the Clippers. I'm not sure if they're.
No, that's a loss. Never mind. I take that back.
I'm not sure if they're old enough to overcome that. They're 2.5 games behind Oklahoma City. It looks like there's solid Clippers versus Mavericks in the first round. Here's your matchups, basically first round. Clippers, Mavericks, Nuggets, and it'll be Thunder or Jazz, probably the Thunder, and then Jazz, Rockets. Rockets did blow out the Lakers without LeBron and the other night, or even might have been last night even.
Yes, last night.
Yeah, okay. And so the only thing you're really looking at is Portland. Can Portland catch Memphis in the last 3 games, and Memphis has got the 3 best teams in the East basically to go up against. So
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you think LeBron sitting out last night for, quote, groin soreness, unquote, do you think that I need load management? Or do you think that's an actual injury?
Rockets.
But I got some.
Is that what you was asking? Was he scared of the Rockets? That was my answer.
No.
Oh,
no, not at all. No. I don't think LeBron's scared of anybody, because I know LeBron's going to be on a tear.
I think he's scared of the Rockets.
I know LeBron will be on a tear, but the reason why I'm saying this is, people forget 2 years ago LeBron was out almost the whole season with a groin injury. So that's why I'm trying to look deeper and say, now, is this legitimate groin soreness? Is it around the same area that he was injured in 2 years ago? People don't forget, like, LeBron has been Superman for so long, but
there you go.
I mean, he's still like 36.
That, to me, though, I still sit back and think the older you get and the more games that you play, I think he's starting to think about his health reasons prolonged now than he has before. And to me, him sitting out last night is probably him and coach saying, look, let's take a game so you can rest, and then that makes you better as the season continues.
Well, I mean, the game prior, that's when they locked up the 1 seed, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
If you look at a lot of what these teams are, like Kevin was saying, I'm looking at the Raptors. Van Fleet had 31 minutes. Nobody else had at least 30 minutes, Terry. If I look at the Celtics, Hayward had 31 minutes. Brown had 32 minutes, which you've got a significant number of guys coming off the bench with 20, with double-digit minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what you guys are saying is really, pretty accurate, that these guys they're not trying to get hurt in a bubble game. If they've got a sore groin, sit. It doesn't matter. Why go out there in a bubble game and tear your groin, pull your groin, and everybody knows that takes forever to get over. It's like that never go away. So why not? I don't think there's a whole lot you can read off these, because they are playing so many guys, which I don't blame him, which I think is smart. And just like Kevin says, these are tune-ups. Play if you feel like it, but nobody's going to be playing 48 minutes in a bubble game. No one's even going to come close to that. So, when we get through this, when's it end? It ends next week?
Thursday.
Yeah, it ends Thursday. Yeah, it ends
Thursday.
Thursday.
Get through our 8 games.
Get through it, and then when the playoffs get here, I think it's gonna be fun, Terry. I think the West is gonna be a lot more fun than the East, because there are a lot of good teams in the West. It'll be more fun, but I think everybody's getting ready to get to the meaningful part of this, which is the playoffs.
All right. The out west, you were asking about the Lakers. Hunter likes the Clippers. Terry, where you at on that?
I'm Boston and the Clippers.
I said I'm with Denver on that for right now. Tom?
I'm going with the Clippers.
All right.
And in the East, I'm going with the Bucks. I think you guys have disrespected Giannis, and I think he's
it. There's your problem. I'm not disrespecting
You've disrespected his team.
Well, there you go.
Dominique Wilkins was a heck of an athlete.
Well, no,
he didn't get nowhere.
Look, in 2016, LeBron James carried that team to a title. Did he not? Pretty much carried that team. Even though we had Kevin Love and some others, but he pretty much carried that team to a title. So I would say that I would not count him out. I think Milwaukee's going to make the finals, and they will play the Clippers.
So you saying Kyrie Irving was nothing?
Yeah,
I think he hit the biggest shot on the games.
He did. He did.
I will give you that, Terry.
Okay.
But I'm going to tell you that he very much carried that team. He had some good players around him, but I think you're underestimating how much one superstar can take a team.
He is good. Giannis is good. But he's going to have to score 35 points a game.
All right, Hunter, I'm going to send it to you. The last thoughts. Which sport, I'll let you call the next segment because I'm going to check an audio thing for you while you're at it. Which sport do you want to go to next? College football and the craziness that's been going on there, or Major League Baseball, Hunter?
I say we go Major League Baseball.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk a little baseball on KTCBroadcasting.com.
So you don't mind.
You could go look at a new car or truck and you didn't have to worry about getting caught up in those games that waste half your day? Well, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram in Forest City is different because we're fast, easy, and transparent. We have over 300 new and used vehicles on the ground with clear choice pricing and the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and a free lifetime warranty on every new car. You better believe Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram is different, and you can find us in Forest City.
Looking for a new car? Maybe a pre-owned car or truck, or maybe an SUV? Then let your fingers do the walking and go to whatsupshopper.com. Local dealers with local vehicles. You don't have to drive all over the country. Just click on whatsupshopper.com and take a look at the local selection of cars, trucks, SUVs, and more from local dealers in Gaston, Cleveland, and Lincoln counties. Car shopping just got easier by going to whatsupshopper.com. Pick yours out today.
the NASCAR Cup Series.
Kurt looking one last time, diving down to the inside, won't be enough.
Heads to the Irish Hills of Michigan.
Here's Logano. He'll dive it deep. Kurt Busch to the inside of Truex for second.
With just a handful of races left before the playoffs, it's the Firekeepers Casino 400 from Michigan International Speedway. Saturday afternoon at 3 on the Motor Racing Network.
On Carolina Country WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com. For an Allstate agent, providing protection that fits your life is something that they take, well, personally. Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and personalizing protection to meet them. From bundling your auto, home, and life insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage based on your protection needs, your Allstate agent can build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And you're in good hands. Contact Cherryville Allstate agent John Brown today for a free quote. Call 704-435-1920.
I'm Lon Helton, inviting you to join me as I count down the week's top 30 with a couple of newlyweds, Maddie and Tay.
It's been really good. Everyone probably wants to smack us for saying that, but we've actually really been enjoying being newlyweds in this time.
That's Maddie and Tay this week on Country Countdown USA.
Wednesday afternoons, 1 o'clock on Carolina Country WCSL, 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Join us every Sunday at 11 a.m. for our Sunday morning worship services. On WCSL 1590 AM and 92.3 FM, it's the Sunday morning service of First Baptist Church in Cherryville. On WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Covenant Bible Church in Lincoln. And on WOHS 1390 AM and 101.5 FM, it's the Sunday service of the Calvary Baptist Church of Shelby. Join us each and every Sunday morning for our Sunday morning worship services on The Boss and Carolina Country.
And we're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. There and there. Whoa, okay. That was
That's
not
how you get JP
funny.
to be quiet.
That was not funny, guys.
All right, you're off. Hunter.
Well, maybe if I
back
keep
Saturday
these on
Sports Talk.
and need to wake me up, you could just do that.
Well, we can't hear you. Hunter. I mean, JP, we can't communicate right now. You
Okay.
just sit in there and smile and give me some thumbs up. You good? Okay. I can't even see that, Dodo. There's a wall there. He gave me the thumbs up behind the wall. This side. There we go. Don't give me that finger either, JP. You've just been thinking we're all number one today.
Oh, really?
All right. Well, welcome back, Saturday Sports Talk, KTC Broadcasting. Hunter Yancey is not in the house. He's up the road.
A little further than just up the road.
Tom's here. Tom's in the house. Terry's in the house. Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram of Forest City, and Friendship Nissan's our new sponsors, folks. Give them a call today. Get up there to see them. They're on the Oak Street extension up there in Forest City. Go see Thomas and the gang. 828-919-3001 and 828-245-1661. I'm going to pull up some of their cars and stuff here in a little bit on the show. You guys can see that's watching online, and I'll give you a couple of deals. That wouldn't hurt me right now too much. I'll go ahead and click on it right now. They've got a new 2020 Jeep Compass, $24,000. Save over $7,000 with them under MSRP. A 2020, the Dodge Ram 1500 Crew Cab 4x4, $43,000.
They'll let me drive that around for free.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes, they will. One time, Terry.
One time.
Yeah. You get it one time. 2020 Jeep Renegade, $21,600. 49 G folks in there watching.
There was
online.
a Grand Cherokee there at the beginning too.
Yeah.
It looked sharp. Yeah,
sure did.
So those are nice.
There's the Gladiators, the truck Jeep. That's what my son wants.
I want one of those
He
too.
wants a
I
truck
mean,
Jeep.
those are really just neat looking vehicles.
Well, I love them when it snowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, loves in the truck Jeep. Hunter, you got us out there in Radio Land. You ready for some baseball?
Yeah, I would probably check and see if you've got your buttons pressed for your mics.
What?
Yeah.
Did you not hear us a minute ago?
Oh, well, I'm just listening to you on YouTube as well, and it doesn't sound like you're coming through the mics on YouTube.
Oh goodness.
Well, they're lit up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can still hear you, but
Okay.
it sounds like they're coming through a webcam.
That should not be the case. It's showing everything here. I'll check in a minute. All right, Hunter.
But I can hear you. We're good. Let's get it.
Real quick, you guys have. I was counting before the show. I don't know why they even do divisions now this year on the.
It don't make no
standings.
difference. Miami's running away with it.
You're right. Miami Marlins have the best record in baseball right now.
They played 8 games.
7-1.
That's right. The first
875. But here's the deal.
games.
They're letting 16 teams in, and guys, there's only 6 teams. No, 3. Yep, 6 teams in the National League and 6 teams in the American League over 500 currently in both leagues. So both leagues would start the playoffs with 2 teams under 500. That's bad news for fans who want to see a good baseball team. That's great news for LA Angels fans. They're still in the running. And so are the Royals, Terry, at 5-10. But my question is, the teams, how many losses right now should we bury these teams? Is it 8, 9, or 10 losses, or any? Or are they still alive, Terry? Are your Royals still alive, or do we need to start burying teams?
No, I think you start burying teams when you get to 25.
25.
Yeah.
So y'all are good at 5-10
so far.
So if y'all go 25 and 20, y'all get to 500. Can you do it?
Hey, I mean, possibility. I'm not saying we will, but it's a possibility.
All right. Well, Tom, what do you think about that with the 6 teams in it right now?
Well, I mean, it's just hard to tell right now. I mean, not a whole lot of baseball has been played. Plus, these guys have been sitting around for a while. I mean, it's just it's going to take a while to shake itself out. I don't think we can tell too much.
Well, Tom and Hunter, when I look at it, and that's like the Braves are playing so many games, and Miami will shut down. Okay, when you finally are able to come back and play, there's so much less pressure on you because when I look at the standings, hey, man, I got a 3 or 4 game lead on Atlanta. They're in second place because they've played so many games. Now my question is, are we going to fulfill those games that I missed? Or are we just going to prolong them and they did not count? And, I don't think how Major League Baseball is going to be able to fill in all them games to make it equal for everybody. So when I come back as a Miami Marlin, and Derek Jeter comes to you and said, look, just play the game. Have fun playing. We got a 3 or 4 game lead. No big deal. Just go out there and play. And now they're just going out there and playing, and they're not a bad team. But, now look at them. They've got 1 loss. So, I mean, for everybody in behind them, like Atlanta's got to say, well, every game we go out, we cannot lose another one because that just prolongs another thing a little bit further back, a little bit further back. My question is, are you going to make up the games or are you not?
Well, the thing is Miami is now playing again. So what I say is they've got to make them up. I mean, one way or the other, you've got to make them up. You can't just say, well, you had 5 less games, but you have a better record, so we're just going to let you in the playoffs. You've got to make up the games if they mean anything, Terry, if they mean anything. Now, if they don't, if there's some kind of mathematical formula where they don't, then don't play them. But if they do, I don't see how you can let one team in who's played 53 games or 52 games and another team played 60 games. That's just not fair to me. Everybody has to play the same.
Well, ask Hunter.
What if they're 53 and 0, Tom?
What's that?
What if they're 53 and 0?
Yeah.
Then I just said it didn't matter. I said if they don't matter,
if you think they don't matter,
I got you.
Yeah.
What if your last series for Miami is against a team that's in last place? No use in making them up.
Yeah, but if the team's in last place and Miami's in first, but if Miami loses, another team could catch them, then the games mean something. You see what I mean? That's what I mean by the games mean something. Even if it's a last place team who's probably going to lose, Terry, they're probably going to lose, but it doesn't matter. You still play if it's a meaningful game. Like Kevin said, what if they're 53 and 0? Well, then nobody's going to catch them. It doesn't mean anything. But if the games mean anything in the standings at all, they must be played. You can't just prorate a season.
I really
for a team.
think when it gets to the end, there's going to be a lot of teams that never played 60.
Well, you'd have to extend the season, and I wouldn't be. It would not hurt my feelings.
You cannot extend the season. They've already doing everything they can for them.
Well, we might be playing December baseball. There's a first for everything, Terry. Could you imagine December baseball in Cleveland? December
you've
baseball
already got
in New York?
copyrights for your TV commercials and all this stuff and your sponsors, and they know when your World Series is.
All that stuff's out the window with this virus, Terry.
But what if come playoff time and just went to Florida or Arizona.
Well, Florida's like the epicenter of the COVID. Well, it's getting a little bit under control. I don't think they're going to do that.
I'm just saying, like ESPN, Worldwide of Sports, they've got like 8 different baseball fields down there. I mean, the players voted against playing in a bubble that was going to be between Florida or Arizona. But if you were going to say, okay, we have to make up these games that we've missed so far, and the only way to do that is extend the season a little bit more and run later into November and maybe closer to December, well, what are we going to do for these northern teams that is going to be basically covered in snow? We got Florida we can go play at. We also got Arizona we could play at. So if you want to take the teams that are maybe from the West, there are ways you could get around it. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that these guys have to just go and play in a bubble for all 60 games, but just for the playoffs. In Florida weather, you mean guys from, like you said, Cleveland, and if the Yankees make it, they wouldn't be like, okay, yeah, we'll go play in Florida. Yeah, no, I'd much rather do that in November and December up north. Because to me, everybody's got to play 60. That's the only way this can be fair. There's like, I know Terry's saying how are they going to get it in, but there's no way that you let it like the craziest thing right now, and I'm not picking on them, but the craziest thing right now is the St. Louis Cardinals have played 5 games. That's it. The Chicago Cubs have played 13. That's a pretty substantial difference there.
Yeah.
So somehow you're gonna have to make up like those 9 games.
See, but another thing I would say, even if say the game's meaningless, say that okay, this team's 8 games up. If they play the last team, it's not going. What other teams are going to say? Yeah, but you didn't have to use that pitcher. You didn't have to risk an injury. You didn't have to do this or that. That would be another argument. I don't think that one's quite as compelling as deleting possibly meaningful games. But like Hunter says, if everybody doesn't play 60, somebody's going to say, hey, why did that team get to play 7 less games than us and didn't risk injury, didn't use that pitcher?
Wouldn't come back to that team. It would come back to Major League Baseball. Stop them. You cannot play this series.
But still, I'm going to be crying foul because if I had to play 60 and you played 51.
There is no crying in baseball, Tom. No crying in baseball.
Okay, Tom Hanks.
if you don't want to complain about something, win the games.
Yeah.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, it makes no sense though. Like if I was, let's just say it ended today. We've played what we've played today, and we're going right into the playoffs.
Right.
Well, it would make no sense that the Miami Marlins would get in. They played only 8 games, and then you've got Atlanta sitting there who's 9-5. I mean, technically they have a worse win-loss percentage, but they've played almost 6 games more.
So you're saying, Hunter, that the Brewers at 5-6 deserve to be in the playoffs instead of the Marlins at 7-1?
No,
that's what you just said.
No, it's not what he said. He's just saying that make the teams play the games. That's what he means.
Make them finish their season.
That San Francisco deserves to get in at 6-9 over the 7-1 Marlins.
That's not what he said. He said that it's not fair because they haven't played their games yet. That's what Hunter
Tom,
said.
this is how the world works. You say something, I interpret it how I want.
Exactly.
That's it. Have you not been paying attention to 20?
That's not how
2020 works.
That's how your mind works.
That's not mine.
That's not how the rational mind works. All Hunter is saying is play your doggone games. That's all
I think
saying.
Hunter's mad because the Braves are the 2 seed right now behind the Marlins.
Well, no, I will say that's unfortunate. I mean, I can't help that if you're going to go based off of win percentage, then yeah, okay.
Are they going to go? Do the division winners get the top 3 seeds and then seed, or is that how they're doing it, or are they just doing straight record? Does anybody know?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Say that again, Kevin.
Are the top 3 division winners going to get the top 3 seeds?
Oh, okay. Now that I don't know.
Or is it one that just a straight 1 through? I know they said the top 4 were going to get to pick their opponents.
So you're asking, are they going to do football style seeding?
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I can't. I don't know. I can't remember
because that's what.
Because if that's the case, then this is bull job with the Miami Marlins of only playing 8 games.
Yeah, y'all are like a 5 seed right now.
Yeah, but on your end over there, Hunter.
Yeah.
Markakis, he decides to come back and he hits a home run to win a game the other day. Once you opt out, should you not be required to stay opt out and not come back?
I mean, I kind of said the same thing for football, football had a hard cutoff date where they said if you're going to opt out by this, like if you're going to opt out, you need to let us know by this date. And I kind of felt the same way. I was, and I'm not going into the NFL talk. I'm just using this as an example. I was happy that they set a hard cutoff date because you're letting the coaches know, okay, this is my roster and this is going to show who's going to show up, and then we can go from there. And I know people could say, oh, well, what if it changes? What if it gets fluid and players start catching it? They should be able to opt out. It's like you guys knew what this situation was from the beginning. You had ample time to opt out, and I guess in Markakis' sake, he opted out, and then I have no idea why he decided to come back, because it just seems like there's no other players that are opting out and deciding that, I just want to come back. I don't know what it was. Maybe he looked at some of the taxes he was going to get hit with and said, maybe I need a little bit of this money that I was supposed to make this year, even if it is prorated. Maybe he got some information to him that said, it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. It's going to be manageable. So I don't know. I mean, I thought what the NFL did, implementing a day that you had to let teams know that you were either opting in and out, was a good thing. I think what baseball is doing right now, I think they need to set not kind of like an all-star break type deal where you need to finally opt in and out by this date, especially before the playoffs start, so teams know what their roster is going to look like before playoff times start. Or else you're just going to have guys that are fluctuating in and out, because they've already said in baseball too, if you opt out right now, you're not coming back. I don't know how Markakis snuck in there until they implemented that, but kind of like Cespedes. He didn't even show up to work and basically told them, like, I'm opting out. Well, then I guess the MLB, to prevent that from happening again, finally has said, if you opt out, you cannot opt back in. There is no way. So he came back and he hit a home run. I can't ask for much more than that on a team that right now is still trying to lick the wounds of losing Soroka. But I don't know. It's this opt-out, opt-in stuff is.
I guess it's kind of
going
like,
to be weird.
You can't really treat it like high school. Like if when Hunter was on the soccer team in high school, if a guy quit and then 2 weeks later wants to come back, what's the coach going to tell him, Terry? What's the coach going to tell him? No, that's what the coach going to tell him. To ask these coaches,
it depends how good they are.
Yeah, I would say
I've witnessed it.
Yeah, I guess. But, you would say most people at that level are going to say no. But this is professionals. What I'm saying is professionals different.
Well, I'll put it this way, Tom. I've been left for a bus for being 2 minutes late, and a star player was waited 30 minutes on and drove to pick him up at their place.
Well, I'm going to use Kevin's words against him. Then you should have been a star player, Kevin.
Exactly. You're right. I'm just saying some players get treated totally different.
Yeah. I don't even want to go into the story about when I got left. I was covering a baseball team up in Hickory, and oh my God, I'd never been so mad in my life. I had to drive 2.5 hours.
What happened?
To go and cover a baseball game. This guy, for some reason, had some military aspect, said, if you're not 15 minutes early, I'm leaving you. And I show up 10 minutes before the time with the bus left, and I'm passing the bus as I'm pulling into the driveway, and he's just leaving. And I call him. I said, what the hell? And he said, we leave 15 minutes early. I said, well, you should have damn told me that. I'd never been so mad in my life.
Hey, Tom Coughlin up there.
I know, right? Tom Coughlin. If he ain't 15 early, I'm leaving you. Oh, well, you should have told me to be there at 2:45, not 3 o'clock.
Well, Hunter, I'm never going to get the sound right this morning on your stuff, so
that's fine. That's fine.
If for folks listening online, when Hunter does or on the radio whichever button I hit, there's going to be a slight echo with Hunter's voice. On the podcast, it's we got to run it through the radio. There's a little feedback loop there that you're hearing there. So
Kevin, he's in that big baseball stadium. No wonder it's echoing a little bit.
Guys, I had to come down here. I mean, I had to escape quarantine and come down here to Truist.
Yeah, you escaped it with all them people sitting behind you.
So has Atlanta torn down 2 baseball stadiums in the last? Did they tear down Turner Field?
Yes.
Did they tear it down? They tore it down. Wasn't that old? How old was Turner Field? 20 years? Maybe
90-something.
96. It was built in 96 for the Olympics.
Yeah, Fulton County. They tore that down, didn't they?
Yep.
Man, they just build stadiums and tear them down in Atlanta every 20 years, man.
I don't understand why they tore the one down in the city. I feel like they could have used it for something.
Yeah.
Well, Georgia State is using it for football, Turner. And then now that you said condominiums, Tom, that's what they're building where the outfield was. It's condominiums between the football field and the parking lot. They're supposed to leave the spot where Hank Aaron hit it out, from what I've saw online. So that's what I've seen. I'm not 100% sure on that, but from what I can tell, you're right, Tom.
So was Turner built on top of where Fulton County was?
The Fulton County was made into the parking lot.
Okay.
And you could park on the field and everything, and they've still had the wall up where Hank Aaron broke Babe Ruth's record.
Okay.
And you could get your pictures taken. And the bricks on the ground in the parking lot were they put bricks in the parking lot where the infield was.
Okay.
So it looked like a baseball field actually where you was parking. But that was that design. But that's they're taking a lot of that out and putting some condos.
I see.
Right there we were talking about. So
gentrification.
Well, Hunter, I'm just surprised you weren't at the last haunt you were at from the other day. I didn't know if that's where you was going to end up today.
I might end up there in about 20 minutes.
Okay. Cool. So Hunter has a problem of quarantining the right way.
Listen, it's just a small walk. I mean, I can walk anywhere at this point. Oh, Jesus, how did I end up here? Man. I'm telling you, Lou sent me an invite, and I had to answer. He said he was paying, so I said, okay.
So Hunter's sitting down in Magic City, waiting on Lou Williams to get his chicken wings, and they're going to go watch some basketball today, I guess.
Hunter, let me ask you
PGA
this.
Championship.
Hunter, let me ask you this. How'd your test go?
It looks like it went well if he's got money at Magic City, Tom.
No. He was taking some kind of computer certification.
You don't want to ask that question, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not right now.
Okay. All right, next
one.
I tried to steer you away from that one, Tommy, but you kept on get the ship.
Okay. Open mouth, insert foot. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about
Practice makes perfect, right, Hunter?
That's right.
There you go.
Practice makes perfect.
There you go. That's just like putting your foot in your mouth. Doesn't that work?
So a couple other quick things. NBA cutouts. I one of the guys sent saw guy I played with his son, a good friend of the family, Steve Summers. He bought one. I don't know if you know Steve. You might play softball with him at some point, but he's got a cutout there for the Braves. I saw that. You gonna buy a cutout, Tom?
I don't know.
A cardboard cutout. I don't know. That'd be a great
You
graduation.
put your dog on it.
Yeah. You can put your dogs on it if you want.
And who's
You
doing
can put
it?
a picture of your dog when you give him those edibles.
The Braves are, but most baseball teams are. Tell you what they're doing is you can buy the cardboard cutouts and they put in the barcodes on them. And if a foul ball or a home run hits it, you get the ball. So little, but it'd be nice, Tom, if the peanut guy hit your cardboard guy, that you could get free peanuts sent to you or cotton candy.
Now, I want to know this. Are they sending you the ball that was hit off the bat? Because every time it looks like I've watched a game, any foul ball, they just dispose of it right there and bring a fresh new ball out. So we just spreading coronavirus right now, sending these balls to people's houses, or what? We giving them fresh balls out of the package?
I'm not 100% sure the disinfectant.
They probably disinfect the ball before they ship
I'm not sure the disinfectant rules in Major League Baseball. I know they're juiced. That's all I know.
And so are the players, right?
Yeah, they are. All of them. It's just called a different word now.
Let them.
All right. Anybody got any other news and notes on baseball before we move on?
No, was it a few days ago that Barry Bonds? What was it? Anniversary of Barry Bonds breaking the home run record was a few days ago.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
That's all I said.
All I want to just tell Terry, don't text me about Major League Baseball standings until at least there's been 30 games played, okay? So just chill out.
I'm just
for
making
somebody,
sure
no, wait,
still
Hunter, does this man not say, I can't come in and help with any podcast or anything, because some people got to work. That's his tagline. Some people got to work. But you know what he has time to do, Kevin? He has time to send text messages. So wherever he's working, this mysterious place, obviously they don't have a cell phone policy.
It's just his feet.
That's what it is. That's what. Obviously, there's no cell phone policy, Terry, and wherever this mysterious place that you're working in the summertime. But we don't know where he's.
There's
Nobody
bathrooms
knows.
everywhere. People have to go to the restroom.
He's a paddle boat. He's a paddle boat engineer. Is that what he is?
That's what he is.
Pedaling?
I think I think he's a recliner engineer watching old Celtics games from the '80s, and he's calling that his job.
And they're winning.
They're winning.
All right.
Couple of things. You mentioned milestones. Albert Pujols is one away from Willie Mays, 659.
All right.
Willie Mays of 660. And then this week was Hunter's favorite player, Mike Trout's birthday, and he had a baby, and just everybody on ESPN just
how about
nuts.
it?
Yeah.
First time back. Bam!
There was a home run. Troy Aikman tweeted about it. Said Trout hammered that one. So I was like, God, let me see what he did. And I went online and clicked on the box score. It said 402 feet.
That's further than I can hit it.
Tom, Shelby High School is 400 feet even.
One of my favorite.
So the greatest player of all time hammered this home run that barely would have got out Shelby High School. Just hammered.
That's not the point of that.
That ball was hammered.
Yeah, but one of my favorite Pujols stories was, I guess Pujols hit some mammoth 550-foot home run somewhere, and the team got on the plane.
Yeah.
And it was real quiet in the plane, and all of a sudden, one of the players just hit the side of the plane as hard as they could. And everybody, what was that? That was that ball that Pujols hit. Yeah. I don't know which pitcher that was.
That was Brad Lidge in the NLCS when he hit it over the train tracks in Houston.
Yeah, that's a great story, though.
I think they quit running that train after he hit it over that damn thing. They took out the hill in Houston. I love that thing.
They did?
Yeah, they took it out a few years back. Jim Evans made one of the best catches in baseball history up on that thing.
Yeah.
The what you're talking about, Tom, I was sitting in our house in Boone, and my head, I think, hit the ceiling. I was jumping up out of the bed, and I think I called Amy at that time, and and I told her, I think it was that night. I told her we're going to name our first kid Albert or Pujols, but she wouldn't probably want to name our kid Pujols. So it might
Albert
be
Pujols
Albert.
Hastings. That's good. Yeah, you do it.
But no, none of the kids got named Albert or Pujols. So, but that was a big bomb. He's got one more to go for Willie Mays, and then we'll see from that. Trout's got to play the rest of his career again, and he still wouldn't be. He'd be 100 home runs shy of Albert Pujols right now. So you can go ahead and measure that one for you Fish fans. The thing that another one this week, they were comparing him to King Griffey Jr. There was some memes and art going around with that, Hunter, and none of them mentioned Gold Gloves.
I know none of them did.
Not a single one of them had Gold Gloves on there.
Well, I was scrolling through the comments.
That's the one we're going to leave off.
Yeah.
I was scrolling through the people that were commenting on it.
Yeah.
And just the amount, I literally saw somebody that said RBIs don't count because someone was like, "Why? Well, what about the RBIs?" And some other person commented said RBIs don't count. That's a team stat. Huh?
But runs isn't.
Yeah, they said RBIs is a team stat. I said, wait a minute. Then why do we count them as a personal? I'm like, RBIs, why then if it's a team stat, why do we still keep personal statistics on RBIs? And then they said, well, it depends on where you bat to in the lineup. I'm thinking, what are you talking about? Just because Trout bats at 2 sometimes and the only person in front of him is one person, that doesn't mean that he starts every inning batting second. Sometimes there's been 5 people that bat in front of him. I don't get it. I don't get why people try and play off so hard, or what we could call real statistics. I don't know why they try and downplay it so much.
It's wild. All right, JP, ready for another break? We've got NASCAR, PGA Championship to talk about, and more coming up next on KTCBroadcasting.com.
Nowadays, buying a new car or truck is different because everything is on the internet. So why would anyone waste their time trying to get answers from a salesperson who's just going to beat you up for more money? At Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Forest City, our sales guys and sales girls don't work on commission. We have clear choice pricing, a free lifetime warranty, and you can find anything you might want to know on our 300 new and used cars and trucks online at Friendship Nissan or Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Remember, we're different and we're right down the road in Forest City.
Hey, Milton, where can I get a good washer and dryer?
Well, Ron, try Hendrick Appliance in Shelby.
Well, what about a refrigerator and freezer?
That's Hendrick Appliance in Shelby, too.
Well, I need a range or a stovetop, too.
See Hendrick Appliance in Shelby.
Well, what about the price?
Best deals in town, and they have scratch and dent appliances at discount prices.
Man, all this makes me tired.
They've got mattresses, too. Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, online at hendrickappliance.com.
You could be the winner of a $500 local business shopping spree. It's our way to salute our local businesses. Register today at Professional Pharmacy on East College Avenue in Bowling Springs, at Eddie's Auto Parts on East Main Street in Lincoln, at Bradley Screen Printing on Highway 74 west of Shelby, at the Roundup Store on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Arnold's Jewelry on South Washington Street in Shelby, at Whiskers Nails and Puppy Dog Tails on the Washburn Switch Road in Shelby, at Shope Shoes on East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, at Campbell Tire on East Main Street in Lincoln, at the Woodbridge Handy Mart on Stony Point Road, and at Kiever Pharmacy on East Main Street in Lincoln. The drawing will be held Friday, August 28th. See your local stores for details. Win a $500 local business shopping spree from the boss, Carolina Country, and WhatsAppShopper.com. When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at ktcbroadcasting.com.
Attention Gaston County renters. Dreaming of becoming a homeowner? Did you know that you can buy your very own home for less than it costs to rent with zero money down? Yes, zero. Let the professional agents at Moss Realty guide you along the way and turn you from renter into homeowner. Satisfied customers have voted Moss Realty Best of Gaston 3 years running. Place your trust in the hometown specialists at Moss Realty. Visit them at mossrealty.com or by phone at 704-865-5555. Moss Realty, your hometown specialists.
For years, Hicks Go Forth at Car Fair Auto Sales on the Bessemer City Road in Gastonia has been providing our area with the finest in late model cars, trucks, and vans. And at Car Fair Auto Sales in Gastonia, they feature on-the-lot financing. Come talk with Hicks about your next vehicle purchase. They're open Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30, Saturdays 8 till 2. Call 704-865-8024. Car Fair Auto Sales, 1320 on the Bessemer City Road in Gastonia.
We're back on Saturday Morning Sports Talk. I know they can't hear me, but I know y'all on the radio probably can, so.
I don't know. We on, JP?
Yeah,
we on. Give me a thumbs up.
All right, good. Yeah, I'm talking to the people on the radio world.
I've got to hit so many buttons in here that I don't know when, who's what. Hunter, we got you in there?
Yeah.
All right, buddy. Good morning. Our Mission Kitchen Breakfast is pretty good, just letting you know. Thank you for listening, folks, to our new sponsor, Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Friendship Nissan up in Forest City, up on Oak Street Extension, both of them, right there on the same road. We want to talk a little golf. I'm going to play a little bit here myself. Little golf tournament up in Taylorsville. I don't even know what it's for. Terry, I could be raising funds for a football team or who knows what. I've been called in to play with some friends. I don't get to see much, so I thought I'd take a good day to play with those fellas. And we're going to go have a little fun. Don't think we'll be competing for the win today, but speaking for competing for wins, PGA Championship is this weekend. Lee from China leads by 2. Fleetwood from England is tied with Jason Day from Australia. Berger and Koepka from America all at 6 under. And I'll pull up the full scoreboard here. In
Go Brooks.
You're pulling for Koepka to win his 3rd straight.
Oh yeah.
Hunter.
Oh yeah. Why not? He's an animal.
Okay.
He is. Have you ever heard his interview that he did with Pardon My Take?
No.
He did an interview with them, and they asked him a question. They said, "So how much golf do you play when you're not competing for championships? You know, to try and stay in shape and obviously keep the swing up and muscle memory." And he looked at them and said, "If I'm not on television, I'm not playing golf." He said, "If I'm not competing, I don't can play golf." And when he said that, I was like, "This guy is just out here winning championships, not playing golf when he in his downtime."
Yeah, but
he's an animal.
That's what he says. I
Now,
find that hard to believe. He's got to be hitting range balls or something. He's got to be working on it.
Is that a conspiracy theory, Tom?
I've already debunked.
Tom, are you interpreting what he said differently than how I'm interpreting it?
I'm not. I'm just saying he's a liar. It's not interpretation. I'm just saying, no, that's not true. I know you're doing something because I know golf is just too hard a game. Now, I'm saying I know people that don't play that much and are still pretty good, but if you're going to beat the best in the world, you're doing something.
I don't know.
Tiger Woods never said, I'm not going to practice for 3 weeks to go out here and beat everybody, even when he was lapping the field back 20 years ago. So I just been calling BS on that, Hunter. That's all I'm saying. That's just my statement, and I will stick to it.
I guess we can just interpret things differently.
Okay.
Well, Lee Haotong, I think that's how you say it, is the 6th lowest player to hold a major championship lead after 2 rounds. The lowest was 500 ranked Ricky Barnes in 2009. Steve Stricker was the lowest before that in 2006 at 196. Sean Michelle in 2003. John Daly held the record for a while, being the 168th ranked player to hold a 2-day lead. And then there's Lee and then Jay Haas in 99. It's only the 2nd time a player outside the top 100 has had a multiple shot lead in a major. That was Michelle back in the 2003 PGA that he actually won.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Did they go on and win it?
Well, most of them did not. That did that. Most major rounds in 1st or 2nd place since 2017. Hunter Koepka has been in 17 rounds in 1st or 2nd. Kisner 8. Spieth and Justin Rose with 7 rounds in 1st or 2nd place.
It's just a beast.
There's a lot of people within striking distance of this. This should be a fun weekend.
A little further down the board, Tom talked about shooting distance. Here's the ESPN's take on it. Dustin Johnson at 4, Schaffel at 4, Tony Finau at 3, Patrick Reed and DeChambeau at 2. Talking about Tiger's chances, I don't even have to read or look at what he shot, and I would say none before the round started. But, there you go. That's my opinion. Where is he at? I'm trying to pull it up, and I can't find his
Tiger
name
Woods
on
plus
here.
2.
Yeah, he's done. So
it's only 10 strokes back.
Yeah, that's it. That's all, Terry. just out of nowhere. This ain't Augusta.
Yeah,
he made
the point of how many people he's got to jump.
He made the cut.
Well, pat him on the back. Tee times for the 3rd round today. I just saw that where they was going. I'm trying to find some of these late.
He come back finishing top 10.
Varner is at 350 today with Snedeker. If you local folks want to check him out. Dustin Johnson at 5 o'clock today. Koepka at 5:40 with Justin Rose. Jason Day and Berger at 5:50, and Fleetwood and Lee tee off at 6 p.m. today in the 3rd round of the PGA. Y'all got a guess or anything on Lee? Hunter's picking Koepka and pulling for him both, Hunter?
I'm just going to pull for him. I have no idea who's going to come out today because golf can just be so sporadic. You can have the best 2 first days of your life, and then that 3rd day you're just like, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's one thing about the sport is that for the most part, no shot can win you a tournament, but a shot can cost you a tournament. That's what's so tough about it. Other folks on the leaderboard within striking distance that they just didn't say. Cameron Champ is at 5. Paul Casey 5. Brennan Todd 5. Lanto Griffin. Have you seen the jokes on him, Hunter, that everybody's putting around? Well, if any of you ever watched Family Guy, Peter went back to high school at one point and as undercover, and his name was Lando Griffin. So there's Lanto Griffin. So there's a lot of fun memes and jokes going around the internet on him. And then we said Johnson at 4, Weisberger 4, Noren and Wolf. Matsuyama at 3, and let's see, you said Tiger was where, Tom?
+2. Tied for 44th.
+1 is the cut.
I'm
he's even. That was +2.
I'm sorry. +2. I'm sorry. He's even. My fault. I'm looking at the wrong call.
44th.
I'm fake news. I am fake news. I'm sorry. I misread that. Phil Mickelson made the cut at +1. Snuck in the back door, Kevin.
Shoo! Yes, he did. That one shot might get you in the on the cut though.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. A couple of things I did want to read on this, guys, as far as ratings and stuff. People make fun or talk about golf and NASCAR, but they're doing pretty well right now. Golf and NASCAR. This is a story from 4 days ago. Doing better versus the Major League NBA, Major League Baseball, and NHL. As you think, NASCAR Cup Series averaged 2.2 million viewers on Sunday. The PGA Jude Invitational averaged 3.2 million viewers on Sunday. PGA on Sunday had more viewers than every baseball game and every NBA game except the Lakers-Clippers Thursday game from the opening weekend. PGA on Saturday and NASCAR on Sunday had more viewers than every Major League Baseball game of the week, all but 2 games, Lakers, Clippers, Bucks, Rockets, which aired in prime time those nights. People are tuning in and watching some golf in NASCAR right now, Hunter. We got no football. A lot of those viewers are going into that, and then they tune in this weekend and all that. Listen on KTC. We've got 2 races this weekend on NASCAR. We're going to talk about that.
Is the Cup races today?
Today and tomorrow.
Yeah, today and tomorrow. 2.
Okay, yeah, 2.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
2.
So they're doing a Pocono up at Michigan, right? Same thing. Okay.
You got to get in and out of that state before they shut it down, Tom. As quick as you can.
Well, I saw that it looked like Michigan was actually one of the states that's doing a little bit better. Governor of Ohio is asymptomatic. I don't know if people saw that or not, but they say he's positive but asymptomatic. So probably going to shut the state of Ohio down pretty soon.
All right, Hunter. Anything else on the golf?
No, nothing more on the golf other than I'm just excited. I think Brooks has got a great shot. Other than that, no.
All right, well, we're going to come back. We'll finish up with NASCAR and some NCAA. We still got to talk NCAA football, don't we? And more on KTCBroadcasting.com. JP, take it away.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could go look at a new car or truck and you didn't have to worry about getting caught up in those games that waste half your day? Well, Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, and Forest City is different because we're fast, easy, and transparent. We have over 300 new and used vehicles on the ground with clear choice pricing and the region's only non-commissioned sales force, and a free lifetime warranty on every new car. You better believe Friendship Nissan and Friendship Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram is different, and you can find us in Forest City.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back, one local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time.
Shop local with whatsupshopper.com, Carolina Country, and The Boss.
The NASCAR Cup Series finishes a doubleheader weekend in Michigan.
Team Penske at the front of the field, further back off 4. They are 4 wide as they race back to the stripe.
Who will come out victorious in the Consumers Energy 400?
Here comes Denny Hamlin. Here comes Chase Elliott off 2.
Harvick across the line. Checkered flag is out.
Sunday afternoon at 3:30 on the Motor Racing Network.
On Carolina Country WCSL 92.3 FM, 1590 AM, and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Hi, I'm Sherry Hefner, the pastor's wife at the First Baptist Church of Cherryville. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Teach your children the way they should go, and when they grow up, they will not depart from it." As a mother of 4 teens and young adult children, I can attest to the many challenges of Christian parenting in these modern times. That is why this scripture is such a comfort to me. I can rest assured knowing that regardless of the choices my children may make in life, they can never get away from the godly upbringing that my husband and I have provided for them. Are you laying a godly foundation for your children? This is Sherry Hefner of First Baptist Cherryville, where we strive strive to accomplish all things through Christ.
The Captain's Cap Family Fish House has reopened their dining room. Bring the family on out for a great meal, no matter your favorite. They've got it, from seafood to steak to chicken. It's all great, and you can still use a convenient drive-through window. So visit the nearest Captain's Cap Family Fish House, 3140 Linwood Road in Gastonia, 670 Park Street in Belmont, and 1218 Highway 16 in Denver. Visit the website at thecaptainscap.com and like them on Facebook too.
Hey, can I help you? Wow, this tractor looks tough. Oh, yeah. This is the Coyote RX 6010. It has a 59 horsepower Daedong turbo engine, 4-wheel drive, and one of the highest lift capacities in its class. It's a whole new level of toughness.
Wow, that is tough. I'll take it. Bobby, let's go wrestle a bear.
Experience the toughness of the RX series at your local Coyote dealer.
Your Coyote dealer is Weston Sells, Highway 18 North, Highway 27 intersection west in Vail.
We're back, but the guys don't know. I've been trying to give them the thumb, but they don't apparently know.
I have a new job.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize.
We're training Tom and
Hunter,
how to hit buttons.
Hunter, I'm not.
He didn't know how hard it was.
Hunter, I already got yelled at for not hitting the tiny Q button at the top, which I really need my spectacles to see that I was. He said, hit the Q button. Like he assumes I know where that is. Of course, now it is kind of, there's a bunch of Q buttons here at the top that I'm aware of now.
Yeah.
And there's mic buttons. But, Hunter, does it confuse you that mic 1 is button number 3?
No, I just know which mic is connected to which button.
I just think it's a little
because
strange.
it's written above it, mic 1.
Mic 1. It is written above
mic 2,
but it says
and
number
mic 3.
But
I don't care what it says.
It says 3.
The one underneath that's the littlest is
mic
the one
1,
you
3.
don't pay attention to. It's the
1,
one
3.
above.
But around here it could be. It's like mic 1 is actually mic 3 because there's a 3 below.
Tom, if this makes it easier for you, mic 1 is an input 3. Mic 2 is an input 4.
That makes more sense.
That
clarifies it. Hey, light bulb just came on. The light bulb.
Tom, I know it can be
This has nothing to do with
difficult.
sports, but you know my daughter's trying to be an engineering student. I had to spend $1,600 on a gaming computer, Kevin. $1,600.
You get a PlayStation for like $400.
I wish she could use a PlayStation. I don't know what they're using these computers to do, Terry. I guess hack the Chinese or something like that.
How much
I don't know.
I've got a gaming computer that
It was on
That's
sale.
not too terrible.
See, that's what they're
going
to say. You know how much I spent on a computer? Like $300.
Tom, you don't understand the situation. You probably only needed 200. The other 14 went in her bank account.
No,
She probably needs the.
Actually, I bought it.
Oh, you did see the receipt?
I bought it.
Oh,
She probably needs the graphics card and the processor that's in it to run some of the apps that they're going to have to use for the engineering classes, like CAD and that stuff.
Right. So just anybody out there who's got an aspiring engineering student, set aside a little cash. But I don't understand. You're paying tens of thousands of dollars to go to these schools, Terry. Could they not provide you a computer? I don't understand. When I went to college, you went to the computer lab.
That's how it was done back in our day.
Yeah, I mean, when back
our
when I
day has been gone past
Yeah, it
time
has.
for a while.
It has. I mean,
I'll say this though: you can get away with running probably a lower grade laptop. I mean, not no $200 one,
well,
like a Chrysler or anything, but maybe one that's like $700 or $800.
My computer sources, Trent Marty, KTC employee, said, "Tom, this is the computer you need. Because if you don't, then you're gonna have to buy when she's a junior again." So, I'm.
I'll say this: I'm in school for computers, but that's what I did. I went out and I bought a gaming laptop because I knew the hardware specs on it would last me a solid at least 3 to 5 years before obviously the next big thing comes out, and it will do everything application wise that I need it to do. I always tell people all the time, I'd much rather have it and not have to go and buy something else just to do it.
See, as a history major, it's a lot simpler. You need a word processor. You read the book and then you use the word processor to type the paper. So this is a totally foreign world to me, but good luck to all those engineering students out there, and good luck getting financing for those $2,000 computers you need. But anyway, what are we finishing up the show with, Kevin?
I'm just doing a little research on how Wisconsin and Wake Forest are ducking Appalachian right now.
He's been on this the whole show.
We didn't cancel the games. I'm just listening to what the coach says.
You're not going to. You know why they want that check? Have you been to Appalachian lately? All the new stuff they got up there. That's how they get it. They go up there and get that check from Wisconsin. That's what they want.
Listen.
No check this year. You're not getting a check this year. You're not getting a new wing on the library this year.
Sports Illustrated is sad we're not coming to Wisconsin this year.
I've never been in my life been to a place that when you walk in and I'm looking through this store, it says clearance. And when I walk over there, it says original price $19, clearance price $25.
Where was this?
It happened at Appalachian store that I went into.
Up there?
Yes.
What are you saying?
Well,
I'm just saying, how can a clearance price be higher than the price that it was?
I'm going to explain supply and demand to you, Terry.
Here we go.
When supply is low, demand gets higher, and you have to pay higher for certain things. I know at NC State.
I thought I was going to get a deal.
Actually, Terry, when supply,
I was going to bring Kevin back a shirt.
When
and I
supply
said, wait
is
a minute.
lower, the quantity demanded is lower. He actually misspoke there. He must not paid attention to Mr. Senefani's supply and demand lesson.
If I only got one to say, Terry, I mean, the price keeps going up.
I was like, oh well, Kevin, I'm sorry. This back book pocket just closed.
I will say this for Appalachian State. I know we do a whole lot of arguing about their football program, but you got to be tough to be up there in January when that wind starts blowing at Appalachian State. I'll
Georgia Southern says, no way, buddy. We got it.
Beat us up there in the cold.
That's right. They did, didn't they?
In the snow.
They did beat them up there.
They did not in the snow.
We come up there.
It was like August.
I'm tired.
It was October.
Yeah, there was no snow. There was no snow in October up there.
I tell you, I that was the coldest place I've ever been to in my life, I believe. I've been up there twice, once in a football game in late November, and I think my toes are still frostbite from that. And then I was up there for a robotics competition one time. It was January. That wind was blowing, Terry. I'm like, you've got to be nuts
kind of
to come
robotics
to this
tournament?
place. But you got to be tough. You got to be tough. What you got, JP?
Well, I was asking you, even though you can't hear me, what kind of robotics tournament it was.
What's that?
He wanted to know what type of robotics tournament you were.
It was a competition.
You got him to sit up on that one.
Yeah, eighth grade, where they came together and they would like give you a scenario and you had to solve it together and get it to do A, B, and C and things like that.
I thought it was like a battle bots competition or something.
Yeah, like you had to. It wasn't like you didn't bring the project, but you practiced on like a module at home, and then. And when you got there, it's like, okay, these are the scenarios. Make it do this and this and this.
Gotcha.
So it was fun. It was much better to be inside. Glad it wasn't outside, Terry.
All right, Hunter, you tell me what you make of these comments. This is the Appalachian State, Sean Clark, talking about the Wake Forest game and regional football in general, talking about how these teams, they can focus on maybe some more local games and how it should be that way. He said, I just think it's great for college football. And it's unfortunate, talking about Wake Forest versus App. He says, but it's unfortunate that both sides couldn't get together. And Hunter, he said, I know our side worked day in and day out to get that deal done, and I'm not sure that was reciprocated. That's his quote, Terry.
Wake Forest knows they're going to have a down season this year after losing that quarterback, so they don't really want to lose.
Sage will look a lot better against that Old Dominion defense than he will against that Appalachian State defense. That's all I'm going to say about that one there, Terry. Who's the best football team in North Carolina, Terry?
North Carolina
Who's
State.
the best? No.
Y'all won 2 games last year.
You would have been kicked out with relegation
never
this year.
lost to App.
That's true.
I
come up there.
But I know the total enrollment is larger at Appalachian State than it is at Wake Forest. Appalachian is actually the bigger school.
I think so.
Wake Forest, if I'm not mistaken, could be considered private.
What's that?
Isn't Wake Forest considered private?
It is private. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
why the big old Appalachian State picking on these little boys? Why don't you go play the big boys?
Okay. I mean, we're not invited, Tom. We got to play this year, and y'all kicked us out already.
That's right. Y'all go to the NIT, the not invited tournament.
Not going to do that one.
I tell you what, I wish they would let y'all come up there and play Wisconsin. They would have ran. They would have ran for 500 yards.
Oh my God!
They would have
And
ran
line-
500 yards. On
Yeah, they'd have lined up and said, "Here
Just,
we
here
come."
we come.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy.
They would have been crying. They would
Ain't
have
no passing going here. We coming right at
They would have been coming off lip, wouldn't they, Terry?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
coach,
what Chad Henne had to say.
Yeah, off tackle left, off tackle right.
They'd have buried those boys. They'd have been screaming after a quarter.
Where's
Terry.
your linebackers that he hurt again?
Has their coach ever won a national championship with Wisconsin?
Are we talking about
Like
we're not
Division
going
One?
No, we're not going
Has their
down
coach
there.
Are
won
we
national
talking about
championship?
Division One?
Well, that's the only thing we ever talk about around here. You won't let me count App. So has the Wisconsin coach won a national championship?
Okay, in defense of Terry, you're always on him about Kyle Busch's
right
Xfinity wins, so that's why we're on you about Appalachian State's
what happens
championships.
what happens with App's championships, Tom? Here's the difference. Kyle gets invited to play with the big boys, and when he does, he doesn't have the same stats. App, they don't get invited to play, and we just want to play with you guys. You just want they. It's not like Kyle goes down. Y'all won't even let us come up, and when we do, we dominate the state of North Carolina in football. Terry, again, has the Wisconsin coach won a national championship? It's a simple question.
No,
Yes or no? Okay.
he said no.
And last year, Appalachian went into Mac Brown's house and waxed him.
There's a
and
difference
he's a
between-
national champion. So why would we be worried about whoever's
Why would
coaching
you say?
Wisconsin?
Didn't that
There's
game
a
came-
big difference between UNC
Who
and
cares?
Wisconsin.
And the game came down
Yeah.
to like the last play. Said they
Yeah.
waxed them.
They
didn't
dominated the
wax them.
whole
They didn't-
game.
What was the score?
I don't even know.
It was like a two. It was like a
Yeah.
1 to 2 point game
Yeah,
because
that's
it came
right.
down to a field goal.
Well, they waxed them. It was a 2-point game.
Tom Brady's got 6 Super Bowls by combined 18, 20 points.
Why are we talking about Tom Brady?
Well, I mean, y'all are bringing up how many points somebody scored in trash time. Congratulations, Carolina.
You said they waxed
They
them, and it
did.
was a 2.
Don't get me wrong.
When the other
App
team
went
was
and
when the
won.
other
They
team
did
never
win.
had a chance to
They
win the
did
game,
go
that
to
is a
UNC
domination.
and win.
They did.
They did go to South Carolina and win
Against their
when
third
both
string.
of them
Against
have
their third
down
string.
years.
Now you can compare Wisconsin and South Carolina. Those two are more along the lines of each other. So we beat them too.
South Carolina was like playing their third string. I was like
Neither
South
one of them-
Carolina had like 15 starters.
Neither
that
one
were
of them's
out.
ever won anything.
I've been waiting on Appalachian to invite Miami back up there. I doubt that's ever going to happen.
Ain't nobody worried
Forget
about
that.
Ain't nobody worried about that.
Yeah, no Miami coming back up here to play.
Oh yeah.
So what they've done is these. So here, all right, you can say who's scared of who, Terry, but the Power 5 conferences are playing 10-game schedules, and the other ones are playing 8-game conference schedules because they're wanting to play the big games. They're opening 4
I'm
spots
against.
up for the big ones.
I'm against it because, I mean, when I looked at State's schedule, State has Liberty. That's their other game that they're going to play. You know, and
That's
when I
awful.
do look at Wake Forest, I said, I mean, you know, because I really want to know. I mean, they dropped App, and I was kind of amazed. And I'm going to be on your side for a little bit because I was like, well, you picked Old Dominion?
Right, and that's what
You know?
So here's Clark's comments, Hunter. I'll let you kind of talk about that too. No disrespect to Texas State or UTEP, but why would Charlotte fly to El Paso and us fly to San Marcos when we're an hour-and-a-half bus ride from each other?
Agreed.
We played at Wake Forest with a sold-out crowd in Boone. No, we played Wake Forest with a sold-out crowd in Boone. I know we'll sell their stadium out too. We sold Charlotte out, and they had the largest crowd in their history of their school. So to me, it makes sense that these schools play more regional games and closer to each other. So, I mean, like you just said, Terry, should State be looking at playing Wake Forest, East Carolina, even Western Carolina? You like, if you're going to go and play somebody that's not good, why, or Gardner Webb. I'm not saying they're not good football teams for what they do.
Play
but
in-state rivals,
right?
somebody.
In-state something. I guess Hunter,
I agree.
you feel the same way on that right now.
I told you this from the beginning when they said that they were going to conference games only, especially the SEC. I said, well, that really doesn't make any sense because, and I've said it multiple times, Clemson and South Carolina are only like 130 miles from each other, okay? But South Carolina has to go and play Texas A&M, and that's 1,000 miles away. And I thought we were trying to keep everybody close together, and if this is exactly what you guys plan this to be, you know, not spread the coronavirus to other places, then why would you not try and play teams as close to you or as regional as possible? Last time I checked, Texas is not just right next door to South Carolina.
Well, that's like State schedule. When you look at their schedule, they got laid out. They're going to, hey, for the first time in a long time, they're going to play Duke, they're going to play Wake Forest, they're going to play Carolina. First time since 2012, 2011, something like that. But then they're also going to go play Virginia Tech and Virginia, both on the road up there. Hey, that's interesting. That's 2 tough games. But then when we pick Liberty, and this will be the first year, and Clemson's even in our conference, that we don't even play Clemson.
Where is Liberty located? Isn't that Virginia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But the whole deal is, why are we not playing Clemson? Don't get me wrong. I'm glad we're not. No, it's a good thing that we're not. But I'm just saying, they are in our conference.
Well, State about beat them a couple of years ago, knocked them out of the.
Well, they should have never been in a national championship to even have a chance.
You got 10 conference games this year. You should be happy that one of them is not the Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson.
No, this is what I want to know. I want to know what Notre Dame's schedule is. I want to know the 10 ACC teams that Notre Dame has to play this year.
I'll pull her up, Hunter.
Because finally Notre Dame has been forced to commit to play a conference-style schedule, and I want to see if they can hold up. I want to see if they don't want to go out there and cherry-pick the teams that they actually get against.
Do you not think the schedule they've been playing is harder than the ACC schedule?
No. God, no. They still think USC is a threat. Southern Cal ain't been a threat since Pete Carroll was there in 2005.
Well,
that's 15 years ago.
You know who ain't a threat? Half these ACC teams.
They're playing. They open up with Duke.
That's a tough one.
Let's see.
Western Michigan, at Wake Forest, Florida State, Louisville, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech. They do get the Tigers, Boston College, Tar Heels, and Syracuse.
They do.
Is Boston College at Boston College?
No.
Yes.
Yes.
That will be tough.
I think the game at Syracuse will be tough.
I think
against Syracuse.
I think the game at Chapel Hill will be tough.
I think it'll be tough too.
Clemson has to go to South Bend.
I think Clemson could lose that game if Trevor Lawrence plays or not.
Is there a question whether he plays?
No.
I mean, at this point,
one of the headlines right here said he is 100% committed to 2020.
Okay,
so I guess not.
Well, Dabo Sweeney could sell a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's going to get Lawrence to play. It's just something about old Dabo. You know what I mean? I think just Dabo can get him to play. So.
Clemson Boosters got enough money to get Trevor Lawrence to play. Is what they got. Here's who they had.
I wasn't going to go that route.
Well, I will. Here's who they had last year. I mean, they're implicated in the basketball schedule, and they said, and the guy implicated was quoted in his FBI interview that saying that the basketball don't have the same type of money the football department does, and just leave it at that way. And he was implicated for recruiting at Clemson and how good recruiting basketball has been there for, ever and ever. Here's Notre Dame's schedule last year: New Mexico, Georgia, Bowling Green, USC, Michigan, Navy. They had Boston College last year, of course, and Stanford. So Stanford, they're trading Stanford, Michigan, USC, Georgia, Bowling Green, and New Mexico for a bunch of ACC teams.
And their overall record just improved.
Well, last year there was 10-2. I think
one of them losses was to Georgia. That's right.
At Michigan and at Georgia were their 2 losses last year. Georgia was 6 points. Michigan, 21. Tom, how many points is Ohio State going to put on Michigan?
Well,
too many.
They talked about putting 100 on them, but it's a rivalry game. They better not get too confident because Michigan's not bad, but the little back and forth it's kind of funny that Harbaugh took a jab at him in a conference. I mean, I don't mind somebody take a jab at me if it's just me and you, but don't take a jab at me at a conference call between all the coaches. You're just, I don't blame Dave for getting a little defensive.
Oh, it's going to be great. Ryan Day and Ohio State's going to dog walk them.
All right, JP, pull up your schedule in there and get ready for that for just a second. We've got NASCAR racing this weekend on WCSL, 2 big races. NASCAR Cup Series. The season is winding down. We've only got a few races left before the playoffs start. It's getting tight there near the end. What was it? The draw, Terry. I don't know if we talked about this last week or not. I can't remember if we did, but in 6 random draws, remember the word random. Al Mirola got 3 poles, and Jimmy Johnson got 4 exactly 20th spot.
Why do they hate Jimmy Johnson?
Starting position.
Why do they hate him? Or do they hate Hendrick? What is it?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on. That they've been.
Seems like a great guy. I don't know.
Well, you've got.
He is.
You got a
but
lot of money.
When you said this is my last season, why give you number one over week? I mean, my God.
He's been 20th, 4 out of the exactly the 20th spot in random draws, 4 out of 6 races, and Almirola's got 3 poles on those. Logano's on the pole for today's race. We're pulling that up Saturday, starting lineups. We're in Michigan. This is a wide track. Terry, you should be able to.
Wide open, yes.
Yeah, this is a get it, go. Wide. You can go left, right. You can go all over the track.
Is it as wide as Kentucky?
It's probably. I think Michigan might be the widest.
I like Michigan.
Yeah, because Kentucky's wide too.
Put your foot to the floor and go. The only problem with Michigan, if you're gonna hit, you're gonna hit the wall hard.
You don't want to do that.
Logano starts 1, Hamlin 2, Harvick 3, Almirola 4, Keselowski 5, Bowman 6, Kyle Busch 7, Elliott 8. Let's get on down to some of our favorites. Cole Custer 16th, Jimmy Johnson 17th in the draw. So, and then we talked about this coming up to the end of the year. Terry, they're trying to make some different maybe rules, hearing some of the drivers and folks complain about exactly, the starting situation. So they're working on it, I think, about it, because you can't go on the championship weekend and random draw at 30 or something like that. What, Terry?
Got my M&M hat on. We're ready to roll.
He's won as many races.
I'm going with Keselowski in Michigan. Hometown boy, been running pretty good this year, running people off the road like Jimmy.
Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson have won as many races this year as Danica Patrick, Terry.
Well, these other things talk about Danica Patrick.
I'm just saying.
She's free bird right now.
She hasn't raced a single race this year and has the same number of wins as Jimmy Johnson and Kyle Busch combined.
Y'all are always hating on Danica Patrick.
That's not.
I
That's
wasn't
a
hating on
compliment.
Danica. I'm just saying she's free.
Tom, I'm gonna compliment you right now. Tom Sinofani.
That's right.
Has as many NASCAR wins as Kyle Busch and Jimmy Johnson
There
this
you go.
season.
What do you think, Tom?
Now, do you feel insulted by that?
That's kind of the you don't sweat much for a fat guy type comment. It's like
Everybody, JP has the same number of wins as Kyle Busch.
That's right.
And Jimmy Johnson this year in NASCAR.
JP's already in there hunting
And
Danica's number.
He ain't had to sit
Call
up but 3 or 4 times all year.
Oh, I know back in the day you would have called Danica Patrick, so don't try to act like you're throwing that off on JP. You'd have been calling her too. Yeah, you'd have been calling her to both of y'all.
Let's see. So the track opened in 1968, held its first event 1 year later. Let's see. The track sits more on 1,400 acres in Brooklyn, Michigan, 65 miles southwest of Detroit. Banked at 18 degrees with a curving front stretch at 12, 5 degrees on the back. Carol Yarborough was the first winner at the track.
They raced there for longer than I realized.
So the way they did the starting lineups was 1 through 12 random draw from charter teams and those owner position points. 13 through 24 was owner positions. 25 through 26 was owner positions. This week, also, Terry, speaking of charter, Levine Racing is closed down the 95 car. Bell's moving to the 20. That means Eric Jones is a potential is a free agent and a talented free agent. So there's going to be questions on where he'll go. Rumors in the 48 car, he's going to do about 15, maybe 20 races next year anyway. And so they're not really looking for a full-time replacement. So I don't think that's the spot for Jones. So we'll see what they're going to do with that.
I heard that car
sure.
might be just dropped.
That's it. That's another option. It may be, Tom, they just don't race the 48 unless Jimmy's there.
Right.
And do it that way. Because that's, like I said, he said 15, 20 races he's thinking about racing next year.
And what about Bubba Wallace at Petty? Trying to work that out.
He's been offered some part ownership in it. So Richard's
They're
not
trying
the
to keep
full-
him. They're trying to keep
I think so, but I'm not sure. It just depends on sponsors. Right, Terry? I mean, you get a sponsor that pays for a
They did
Ganassi
say
race
where
or
he
something
might
else.
think about going, but and I can't remember what it was.
42, the Ganassi.
Yeah, Ganassi. There we go. But is that what he wants? Is there more money? I mean, Bubba's going to do whatever's best for him money wise. So
yeah. And another thing on that, if you're going to Ganassi, you're probably going to have a chance to win more races in the 42.
Mm-hmm.
They've put together some winning Kyle Larson was doing pretty good in the series. So that's the thing. If you want to be first owner, you want to. I guess what his participation level would want to be. Four drivers have won 4 consecutive races at Michigan. If you're looking to pick someone, Kyle Busch enters the weekend aiming to shake a season-long funk. 20 winless races, the most to start a season since he joined Joe Gibbs in 2008. This also happened in 2017, and they won 5 of the next 13 races.
Isn't he a plus 96 or something?
What does that mean?
Points ahead of the 16th place.
I'm getting to that. Let me get right over to that, Terry. You're right about the standings. Jimmy's fighting for that right now. Hunter, have you ain't talked to or said or seen anything from Jesse or any of them folks lately? He got a little had a little scrum there and wanted to about come to fisticuffs with somebody there a couple weeks back on Twitter.
Yeah, I was prepared to show up if I needed to show up. I let that be known on Twitter to him and everybody else that was paying attention. I had his back. But not just that, I'm glad you brought that up. Heart goes out to Jesse. He lost his aunt last night battling cancer. So I know that him and his family struggling with that right now. I think he's still planning to race today or whenever the Xfinity is racing. I just saw that on Twitter that he did in fact lose his aunt last night. So thoughts and prayers go out to Jesse Little and his family.
Pulling up your standings here, Hunter. JP, read the schedule in there for this weekend on WCSL.
All right. Today we have the Atlanta Braves of Philadelphia at 5:50 p.m. Then we have the Firekeepers Casino 400 at 3 p.m. Tomorrow we have the Atlanta Braves of Philadelphia at 12:50 p.m. And then we have the Consumers Energy 400 at 3:30 p.m.
All right. Well, thank you there, JP. All right. Here's your standings, Terry. Harvick 1, Keselowski, Hamlin, Blaney, Elliott, Logano, Truex, Almirola in 8th, Kurt and Kyle in 9th and 10th, Bowman 11th, 12th, Boyer, Benedetto 13th, William Byron 14th, Tyler Reddick 15th, Dylan 16th, and Jimmy is 17th. 25 points behind Dylan. Dylan has a win, though. So Jimmy is chasing Tyler Reddick. Did Reddick win? Reddick didn't win, did he?
No.
He's chasing Tyler Reddick and William Byron. Basically, his teammates there he's basically 40 spots behind them. Remember, he just got disqualified from a race. He's been wrecked numerous times. He didn't get to race one time because of Corona. So it's not been a fun ride for him. Eric Jones, who's wondering about him, he's 1 spot behind Jimmy. He's 6 spots behind him in points where he is on that. So you got Cole Custer. He's in 19th. He's in the playoffs. As well. So, Jimmy's chasing basically Reddick and Byron, unless a couple of the guys, Boyer and DiBenedetto, have a couple wrecks early on. So, who you got this weekend, Terry?
Well, I'm going to stick. No. Well, it's about time for that all to come to a halt. Kyle Busch.
Which one, today or tomorrow?
I'm going to go tomorrow. I'm going to say he'll finish 3rd today and 1st tomorrow.
All right.
I'm going with Keselowski and Harvick.
He picks 2 Fords. Hunter?
I'm going to go with 2 Toyotas. I'm going to go with Hamlin today, and then they're going to meet together and talk as a team, and then Kyle Busch is going to get him one tomorrow.
Well, let's go with the no-win boys for this weekend. I'm going to go because it's a wide track, Terry.
It is.
Surely to God they can avoid wrecking Jimmy this weekend.
He's
gonna have plenty of chances to pass people. His crew chief was talking about the starting positions, like setting up the car time. Like it's tough. You don't get practice in qualifying, and then you got to set up the car to be able to pass people, as opposed to just set up your fastest race car when you kind of maybe when you're up towards the front. So yeah, they've been doing a good job of that. They've been starting off races passing 5, 7, 8 people, and then somebody wrecks them. It seems like. So I'm going to go with them. And then the other winless wonder, Mr. Busch, Kurt Busch. Ha! No, none for you, Terry.
No, that's fine.
Another winless weekend for Kyle.
I will say, though, y'all pick whoever's going to win both races. I will take Harvick today. Harvick's always strong.
Yeah, he's strong. I started to go with Hamlin, too.
He's a cheater.
He is that.
They all cheat.
All right, Hunter. Any other final thoughts today before we got to go? I got to go to Taylorsville.
I have no final thoughts.
To LP friends.
Hunter, you want to say goodbye? Sing a song? Anything?
Wait. I got somewhere I got to go. I'm sorry. You guys get to come with me.
All right.
It's raining up in...
Hunter might do this every week. Say some 40-minute drive in.
No, he won't do this every week. All right, JP, you ready?
Hunter, come back next week and reclaim your chair, okay?
All right, play it away.
I don't like being here. I like being on the side.
Find the playmakers there, JP, if you can. If not, I will. Just let me know. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the Friendship Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and Friendship Nissan Saturday morning sports talk show. Breakfast brought to you by Mitchum's Kitchen, Hunter Yancey, Terry Reinhardt, Tom Sinafani. You can watch the replays on Facebook and YouTube. You can listen on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and all the other ways you get podcasts. JP, you ready for Playmakers? Go ahead and play it, man.
Incredible kid, 'cause I am. Have a good weekend, everybody.